with me, and Angela just recently completed our year-long training with the Horse Medicine Leadership Academy and is going to take some time to just share about her experience and a little bit of testimonial for those of you that are curious and are maybe wanting to explore doing our training. So
Thanks,
there you go, Angela.
Thank you. Well, what actually kind of drew me to the program is that I decided to take my certification in coaching a few years ago, and while I was going through that particular program, it didn't seem to matter where I took my training, because I did travel around a little bit through that particular CTI training, was that people would say, you realize that people are doing this with horses. People are coaching and partnering with horses as part of their practice. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool thing, but I just wasn't in the frame of mind to pursue it at the time. But when I decided to look into it, Hillary's name came up time and time again, either through my peers, through the coaching. I ended up taking one of the front of the room leaders actually happened to be Hillary's father. So it just seemed to be everywhere I turned, Hillary's name was coming up as being one of the individuals who was at the forefront of partnering with horses and had on her beautiful ranch in BC. So Hillary and I spoke, and at the time I was still kind of waffling a little bit and finishing up the coaching program. And I had kind of just dropped it kind of in my head for a little bit, and then Hillary called me. And it was the right timing, and it was definitely one of the best decisions that I made as part of a coaching program. Horses have been a part of my life for 20-some years as a horse owner, and I really did not know what I was venturing into when it came to this program with the horse medicine. With coaching, you do a lot of your own work, your own soul reflection, and I thought I had done a deep dive into some of the inner baggage that I had. But little did I know that when I arrived on the ranch in British Columbia with Hillary's horses, little did I know that there was so much more to uncover, and that the horses would do it so beautifully, so majestically, and create such a safe container. And so I'd like to just share actually one of the experiences that I had while I was out there in April, and it was with the lead mare, Tarina. And I had a lot of limiting beliefs on what leadership looked like, and I kept saying, I'm never going to be that. I'll never be that aggressive person that, would be in a leadership role. I'm not an aggressive person. I have a very soft side, nurturing. And when I had the experience with Tarina, she showed me that while she can hold firm in her space within the herd, she also had a very soft and nurturing side. And we met up that particular day, and I remember looking into her eye, and it was just such a soft and beautiful place. And when I started to talk to her and say, even you as a leader in the herd you need your own space and time for nurturing, I started to cry because she kind of nestled into me. And as I did that, she took her nose and she actually put her nose on my cheek where a tear had started to fall. And I thought, oh, this is what you're trying to teach me in this moment. You're trying to teach me that it's okay to lead from this soft and nurturing place. And even still makes me actually emotional to talk about it now, because it was just so beautiful. And it was just such a shared moment. And as I have, I've taken the learnings from being with the herd and brought it back to my own herd. And I have a herd of 3 horses, and I've introduced them to some of my clients. And without fail, the experience that the client has with the horses is so beautiful and so deep and so loving. And I started to realize that I have chosen horses that have a very loving and nurturing way about them, which ironically is also mirrors what I bring to my own coaching practice. And what amazes me is how quickly and how deep the client goes within the coaching and client experience. And I think that is actually what has drawn me to want to expand this experience for my coaching practice, and kind of where I'm taking my own practice. So one of the things that I definitely see, most of my clients are women who are in a state of transition of some sort. Often it's career, or there's some sort of transition that they're working through. And where I'd also like to introduce it, and what I'm kind of working on behind the scenes, is how can I introduce this type of work for youth. Being a mom of two teenage children, even as I speak to the schools and some of the coordinators that are looking after the mental health programs within the schools, they know that there's a need for other modalities to help support the youth within our society and our community. And so this is where I feel I'm being led to at this moment, in terms of creating a program where youth can come and feel a sense of connection, community, and relationship, particularly if that has not been a part of their life so far. And so that is where I'm in the process of taking my program and introducing it to youth and to women.
Angela, if you just want to touch on a little bit, like the program specifically, going through the training with HMLA, what it has sort of empowered or really supported, or, given you in terms of being able to create that practice, for people that are looking at, maybe why this particular program, what you really appreciated about it, and the depth of what you kind of received from it that has, again, kind of allowed the manifestation of the practice.
One of the things I guess that I liked about it the most was, well, one, there was some flexibility. I wasn't able to make it to the first training in the fall. So working with you and Christy, we worked around our schedules to allow me to be able to take the first course here in New Brunswick. So that was really supporting me from many aspects. Second, the focus, what I felt the focus was around leadership and having a corporate background, and also wanting to take this work into the corporate environment. It helped me to see how that could be possible. And it actually then will grow through. Well, from that, we also were able to practice with some clients at the end of it. So not only did we have the time to spend with the horses, understand horses in a whole other perspective. If someone had asked me about this type of work before, I would have had some doubt. But having spent the time that, as part of the course, we had to spend time with our own herd and reflect on what was going on for ourselves, and also with the herd in BC, that it helped me to see horses in a whole other perspective, and about what they have to offer, and the reflections that they give back. So there was a lot of inner work. We had our own, within the program, we had a community of people so that we could share our experiences, and not all from the same walks of life. So that was also interesting, because it brought a different dynamic into the group. And the fact that, as part of our graduation, is that we had a group of clients that we had to build a workshop, first of all, build the training material, the marketing material, and then deliver. And while that was scary in its own right, it turned, and we also knew that we had your support, Hillary, and Christy's support, and that, regardless of what would happen, it was all going to work itself out anyway. And so we end up co-facilitating the program. And while I have co-facilitated with a variety of people in my work environment, everybody has their own style. And I quickly learned that I needed to have some faith and faith that everything would work out and the horses would support us in that particular workshop. And I believe it actually went really, really well. We felt really good about that and felt that we were ready then to go out and bring it to the world. So that was, I just liked how the whole, how it all laid out. It was very organic. While there was, we received really good material to support us ongoing in terms of exercises where we had to either experience the exercise or facilitate the exercise. It was also very organic and allowed the program to flow in a way that meant something to us as participants. So we got to have a lot of feedback along the way. So that was what I appreciated about it.
Awesome. And then, just maybe a little bit of in terms of, anything you want to share about feeling confident about, like you said, now that you're sharing it with the world, or, again, how that is tangibly manifested for you. I know you kind of touched on it in terms of you've already worked with clients and stuff, but how you sort of feel in terms of the solidity of the vision of it also as a business and, your ability to lead that.
I think I had concerns going into it just in terms of, just having faith in myself. And probably what solidified that was my last trip out to BC in October and all the time that we spent with the horses. I needed that. That was where I was feeling a little bit maybe just hesitant in my own ability to read the horses, and it allowed us to ask so many questions. But what has solidified it for me that I can bring this as part of my practice and to build a business on it is looking into the eyes of my clients. Christmas has just gone by, and the cards that I received with, talking about the work with the horses, or the emails I received from clients, and just seeing that transition happening right in front of you, that tells me that this world needs more of this and how beautiful it is. And so for me now, it's figuring out the marketing piece to share it with more people, because I do believe that this is a modality that can really support. Mental health is such a, it's so prominent right now, and there's such a need, and this is such a beautiful modality to bring to the world. The horses are a gift.
Totally. They are a gift. So I know that's always for me why I love, holding space for this program, is I believe in this work so much, and the more of us that are doing it, and also, where it impacts horses as well. But, I love being able to empower people in this work because it's so needed and necessary. And I've loved, being able to see you actually doing it, that it's a reality, and, you're getting to work with clients, and I think seeing the different opportunities kind of manifest in terms of where the horses go. As a one last piece, if you wanted to maybe share a little bit about just how, and for people watching this, the Horse Medicine Leadership Academy is a partnership with Christy and I. Christy did have a baby, so some of the training might be that you're getting you probably will get a little bit of Christy, but mostly just me. But if you want to speak to both of us, and just in terms of how you felt that the program was held, and what maybe you appreciated or really got from the leadership of both myself and Christy, and where you resonated with that, and anything you wanted to speak to around that.
Actually, I think for me, what I gained the most from you and Christy was you empowered me to step into my own leadership. And that was the part I think I struggled throughout most of the program, was self-doubt, some self-worth, and confidence. And not once did I feel that should be a concern. I felt so supported by both of you, that for me, that is what actually probably sealed the deal in terms of the program, because I remember speaking with both of you at the beginning. You both wanted to meet the participants as they were, as you know, as we were kind of applying to come into the program. And I knew you each have your own style and your own way of being, but I knew that it was going to work for me because there was going to be a relationship that would help empower me to step into this work, and that I felt truly, truly supported and held in that space. And for that, I'm very thankful for.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I love that. Well, I know that's, I think definitely something that is important to both of us is that I think we look at each person that comes in, whether again through, might be private training with me, but under this umbrella is that there is sort of that relationship and connection and support that is in the program and also ongoing. I think that the joy of this is, being able to connect with an amazing women that we now get to continue to, be in community with. And, that's important to both of us. And I think something that we hope that is felt. So it's nice to see and that it's continued. I think that it just continues to be there and we get an opportunity to look at, where there can be kind of creation and stuff from there. So I love that was a piece for you.
And I see you both as mentors as well.
Yeah.
Having gone through building a business yourself, with this as one of your main part of your program, and so I know that I have someone that I can reach out to as well and continue to learn from.
Yeah. Awesome. And then, if there's any last thing, so if somebody's watching this testimonial and, kind of thinking about it and maybe on the fence also just in terms of the financial commitment or anything like that, what's something you might kind of share with them being on the other side of that?
I mean, for me, it was a big financial commitment because I had to figure out how to pay for this myself. I had applied through some government grants and was refused, just due to timing of their funds were being used up in other ways. But that was something that I spoke with Hillary about with you, and we worked out. You basically said, come back with what you think how you can pay for this, and so we worked out something together, or else I probably would have said no. But because I could stretch out my payments, for something that was workable for both of us, it wasn't just one-sided, and that helped me to be able to pay for this myself. And I felt, I'm a big believer that you invest in yourself, and that brings you to a better place. I felt it was a worthwhile investment. So if money is holding you back, that's a discussion that I would strongly encourage you to have with you, Hillary, and as you enter into the program.
I know, I think there's always a balance for me, but the thing that I really believe in, and I think we talked about this, I know we had kind of multiple conversations in the beginning, but my thing is, if you really feel like you're meant to do this and you're drawn to the work, it's, we can figure something out. And, I think the intention of this program as well, that we touched on, it's not just about, learning the space of the horses, it's actually developing a practice around it so that it is something that, accrues that, financial support as well, because it needs to. So that's definitely our stake in the program. And also, I'm always one to, honor if it feels like the right opportunity, then we find a way to make it happen. And because I think it's important work, and also there's ways that we can empower that conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm. And right from the beginning, I knew it was something that I would always end up doing. I just needed to figure out the how. And I'm a big believer that where there's a will, there's a way. So we figured out the way together.
And we did, and I think it's been really cool to, watch the evolution of it. And then I think just, super excited about, where things are going from here. And again, sort of the opportunity to continue to be mentor and peer, and friend. And, and I so appreciate also you kind of taking the time to kind of share these thoughts and, being a part of this community. So, Thank you.
So I'd like to just share one last thing before we finish up here, Hillary. And it's a space in at your retreat center. I found a lot of myself there while I was there. Just the solitude, having time for myself, being a mom of a mom, a wife, a career-driven, an entrepreneur. Just having that quiet time, and then spending the time with the horses was just such an amazing experience that I found a lot of me while I was there. It was a chance for me to write, to reflect, and to spend time with a beautiful community of women.
Yeah, thank you. It is important. And again, for people that are watching this, the training takes place for the most part. I do, kind of travel sometimes to people, but, and there's a reason for it too. I think the retreat center in Kamloops, British Columbia, and we have the cabins, and you kind of get the whole experience, and then also the herd. And I think in terms of being able to work with the horses and the herd setting that I have, that's a big piece of the program as well. But yeah, I think there's a potency to the space here and being here, and also being able to, especially with the horse piece, it's being in a place that was essentially built around this work, that becomes, there's so many layers to it, but I think that becomes inspiring, and, that's sort of my hope. But, yeah, the whole experience of being here at the retreat center, being immersed in, both the learning and also the very personal experience you get from here is definitely a really big piece that's important to our process. Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, and then just to end, for people that are just, wherever I post this video, to learn more about it, or if you want to apply for the program, you can go up to horsemedicineleadershipacademy.com, or email me at hillary@epona-rise-retreats.com. Or you can look us up on Horse Medicine Leadership Academy on Facebook as well, and or Hillary Schneider. So I will be, for the most part, doing the private training moving into 2018. But, Christy, who is kind of the co-founder and a very important piece of this, creating the material, will be there to sort of assist some of the learning as well. But the in-person training will take place out at the ranch out here. So, all right. Thank you. And then look forward to connecting to the people that are connected after seeing your video, Angela. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for such a great experience.